Hello. So today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on this Santa kitty and, well, kind of like kitty claws. And I'm going to show you how to use the chalk paints, but I'm also going to feature a really cool product from Craft Closet, and it is the glitter color board. And I went ahead and cut out the little bows with the ruby slippers. Isn't that gorgeous? So I wanted to incorporate some different products in this video. It is so neat. This is how it comes. It comes in a big sheet and it is just stunning. It is just gorgeous. I really love this. So I wanted to make sure I used that. So I did the little bows in that. And I also cut out the little berries with that too. So I'm just gonna set them over here. So it's gonna be pretty fun. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on the cat. I'm gonna show you how to paint this, and I'm also going to do some distressing. I'm going to just go ahead and grab some brushes. And I just get my brushes at Michael's. You don't need to get like really expensive brushes. They're just like any kind of like craft brushes. This one's kind of old. I've had them a long time. Just make sure you wash them as you go. And I did get one of these, it's like a, I don't know, it's one of these, it's like a brush washer, and I got it on Temu. So I am going to also try this today. So I am going to review this. It is, so here's everything out of here. It just shows you how to put it together. So I'm gonna take everything out of the box quick, just so you can see the unboxing. It's really much smaller than I expected it to be. That is really small. Like, this is a really tiny jar, really small. So I'm going to give this to my assistant here to put together while I'm painting, and she's gonna put this together for us, and then she's gonna come back and we're gonna use this today. So apparently these are the instructions, and yeah, we'll give this a try. We'll try to use this today and we'll see how well it goes. All right, thanks. All right, so she's gonna go do that, and we'll get started on the cat. All right, so I like to always just squeeze my paint. I don't like to waste paint. I just like to squeeze it right onto my brush and then squeeze back. That's just a little tip. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead, and this one has score lines so you know where to put the little flourishes. So that's just a placement. Just make sure you don't set these to cut, because you'll have lots of little parts and your kitty will be in pieces. So, and this paint here is Folk Art brand, and it's called Castle, and it's a really pretty, like, kind of a grayish beige, and I thought that'd be a great color for the kitty. I did black for the other cat for Halloween, but I thought maybe gray for the Christmas kitty. He's just so cute. I just love kitties. So it doesn't matter if you like get the paint in the score lines, just as long as you know where to place them, like as long as there's like a faint line, it's all good. So it doesn't have to be perfect. They're not there for anything other than just placement. So here's my kitty. Grab some more paint. You can be pretty generous with this when you're first starting out, because you really want to get some nice good coverage. Okay, I'm gonna get the tail. And you do not have to be perfect, because a lot of this gets covered up in the end, because you're going to be putting your bow over here, and you want to paint that snowflake white. You don't want to paint that gray. So I'm going to show you how to paint this from start to beginning, or start to end, so you don't have any confusion. All right, I really like this color. This is a really good cat color. It's a little gray fur kitty. So cute. I love that. That's a good color. Okay, so I do want to stop right about there with the cat's head because there's going to be a black outline that I made. So it kind of gives the hat a little bit of dimension, and I'll show you when we get to that part. I just want to finish up his little paw here. I just wanted to kind of rub some of that paint off before I got to that paw because I don't want to have too much paint when I get to this part here. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop there. And then I'm going to paint the little Jingle Bell a different color. I apologize, my hands look a little gross. I was up late painting last night too. So I'm just gonna wipe some, I've got some goobers on my brush. There we go. All right. I do enjoy painting. It's really relaxing, very therapeutic. Like when you're done with work for the day, you can come home and paint. That's what I like to do. Painting is just very relaxing for me. I'm just gonna go over and just give this a nice coat over here where I feel like I didn't give it enough paint. What I love about chalk paint is the fact that you really don't need a lot of coats. It really covers well, and it's great on MDF. That's what I used on this, MDF, and it is awesome. So you can get your MDF at Craft Closet. You can get it at GS2 Awards. They have some good prices. A lot of times there's some great sales at those places. You can get it for a pretty good price. I'm not sure about Canada, but I'm pretty sure they ship there too. Don't quote me on it though, I'm not sure, but I think they do. Always check their website. They always have great deals. And if you are in my Winetopia group, we do have a discount code. Just use Winetopia at checkout. If you're shopping at Craft Closet, you'll get 10% off your purchase. So just use Winetopia when you go to checkout. So that's awesome. So definitely want to use that if you're making a purchase. They have some really great products. All right, so there's my kitty. And I didn't go into the hat yet. What I'm going to do is do the black over here just on the edge, because if you see this, there is going to be that little bit around the edge. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there is like a line that shows. I'm gonna move this up closer so you can see, because I gave it a little bit of detail and there's gonna be a line that shows. So just make sure that you know that that does not go right up to the edge, okay? So we are gonna paint that black. Okay, so there's my kitty. Pretty happy with that. Oh, I got a little hair on there. So wipe it off. And this paint dries so fast. That's another thing I love about chalk paint. Oh, my hand must have been dirty. Got a little mark there, but that's okay. We can just fix it. Good deal. All right, so I'm going to paint, let's see, what color should I do the Jingle Bell? I'm thinking I would like to do maybe white. Do a white. I think that would look really pretty. Actually, I have this great color. It's like an off-white, and it's called Sheepskin. I really love this color because it's not like bright white. It's like an off-white, which is a really nice color. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab another brush, and I'm gonna grab a smaller brush this time, just because it's a smaller area and I don't wanna make a mess. So I'm gonna grab from my little brush stash, and I'm gonna squeeze. This is starting to run low because I use this a lot. I love this color. Ooh, got way too much paint on there, so you know what, when that happens, and that's why I do this on an old advertisement, I can just rub that off. There we are, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just lightly paint over that area. There we are. Such a beautiful day. I just want to be outside. So I'm outside in my garage, just enjoying this beautiful morning. It's so pretty outside today. It's like one of those nice early fall days. Today's the first day of fall, so I thought, why not work on some Christmas stuff? Getting ready for fall. This brush, ooh, it's got like some little wonky spots on it. I'm just gonna fix that. It's like all the little hairs are going all haywire. And this does not have to be perfect because you are going to be gluing that bow right over the top of that. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. I just don't want to get the paint in the little stars because then you have to try to go and use a tool to get that paint from being inside there. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right, and I'm also going to distress this. I'm going to show you some distressing techniques too. There we are. And I'm going to paint this little part of the jingle bell. This goes right over the top. It's like that little ridge that is on the jingle bell. It's like a little ornament. I thought it'd be cute. He's playing. Kitties love to play. My cats love to chase things around the house, and they have a million toys, but they love to play with like ornaments. They'll knock them off my tree and play with them. They don't want to play with their toys. There we go. So that one's done. I also want to come back over here, and I am going to paint this snowflake. I'm going to need a little bit more paint. I can grab some of that paint I rubbed off earlier. Just grab some of that. And I just use old magazines, like these ads that come in the mail all the time. I feel like I get so much junk mail, and I hate throwing it away all the time. I definitely recycle them afterwards, but I like to try to use these old advertisements that I get, just cause. So sorry if this is a little busy, but I like to try to reuse, reduce, recycle. So rather than going out and buying a tablecloth, I just use these old advertisements. So I save them up when they come. I got a whole bunch now. I think this one is about had it. I think I'm gonna get a new one. I'll grab one from my stash. They can send those junk mails all they want. I'm gonna use them. So there's my snowflake. White is a little bit harder to cover, I feel, on the MDF because like the char and everything. I definitely feel like you have to go in for another coat. Like this one is all ready for another coat. I feel like you can see how much brighter that is over here. You always want to give white at least another coat, just cause I feel like the char just drinks up the white. I don't know, it turns kind of brown after a while. So I really want to make sure I give a nice good coat on that white. So there's that. Okay, so there's our jingle bell and our snowflake. I might come back over and give that snowflake a little bit more. I'm gonna see how it dries first. And there's our little ridge here for our jingle bell. I'm not sure what you call this little piece. Okay, so then I also want to paint the top of his hat. I'm gonna get some more white. That's the sheepskin. And these are great, these little small ones. If you want to try chalk paint, I definitely recommend getting these little small ones first if you don't want to invest in the bigger bottles, just to see if you like chalk paint. I just love how well it covers. It's really fun. All right, and you can try lots of different colors. And you know, I went back to the store and I did see it at, I think it was Joann's, I think I went to, and I saw it there. So you can get that pretty much any craft store, I guess. I just didn't look hard enough for the small ones. But they do come in these bigger ones, and they come in these big jugs. So, and they also come in bigger ones than that, like with a really, really big size. And I think I need to invest in a really big size of this sheepskin if I ever find that size. So I haven't found it in the big size. They usually just come in the big size with like white or black or like the standard colors. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure I really get that white on there really good. You really need to really put a lot of that on there. I probably should have tapped off a little bit, but you really want to make sure you get good coverage with white. Otherwise you get that brown. Definitely see where all that char is. I did purchase an air compressor for my laser. I just haven't hooked it up, so try to reduce some of this char. I'm still learning my new laser, so I may not have the settings correct, but it does cut really well. I have Glowforge and I have a Mira, and they are really great. I like both of those brands. Eon is a great company so far. I've had really great, had a lot of good experiences with them. Glowforge I've had a really great experience with too. So either, if you don't have a laser yet, I know a lot of people are thinking about it. I think they're all great. Here we are. So there's our little fuzzy part of his hat. Really love this little guy. I hope he's just as cute when he's finished as my little Halloween kitty. There we go. So, and then he has his little pom-pom. I want to make sure we do that piece too. And I always like to start in the middle and work my way out, so that way I don't get paint on the edges. See how that works? You don't want to try to get too much paint on the edge. I try to work that way out. If it happens, it happens. I try not to get it on the edges. I do my best. So I just work my way towards those edges. I just kind of flick my brush off the edge. There you go. Definitely gonna need some more paint. I think it took too much. That's okay. I'm just gonna work my way towards those edges. And I have noticed that when the chalk paint does start to get a little old, and if you leave the cap off too long, it does get a little chunky. So definitely try not to keep your caps off too long. Okay. Oh, Amazon is here. I ordered some new artist crayons. So that is perfect timing. How awesome is that? So we can try those on this file. Okay, so there's my white. I am gonna go back and just give a little bit more. You can definitely see, you definitely needed another coat on that snowflake. Here we are. And just in time, my friend is back with the, what would you call that thing? Like a brush washer?
Paintbrush rinser?
Paintbrush rinser. We are gonna try this out. We're gonna see how well this works. I've heard people say that it leaks really bad. So I put way too much paint on that. So we have to try to get those pieces in between. Way too much paint.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, it leaked. Whoops. See?
Let me go over the sink and do this.
Yeah, we already made a mess. That is crazy. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we have some newspaper down. That just leaked everywhere. So you guys just saw that. As soon as it tipped upside down, it just leaked everywhere. Okay. I'm just gonna give this another coat again. That just is like, you wanna make sure you get that all covered. So when you go to use that, if you happen to buy that paintbrush washer, don't put it near your, hello.
Hey, just need a signature.
Oh, sure.
It's for Jen.
Yes.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too. All right. Okay. Sorry, I just had a delivery. Okay, so we're just gonna finish painting here. All right. Definitely put too much paint on in between those little snowflakes, so I'm gonna try to get that out. There we go. Perfect. And we're gonna distress that anyways. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this, oh, I wanna do these little, before I put my white paintbrush away. And I have another snowflake over there too. I'm gonna do these little mistletoe berries. Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're red. You can do them red or white if you want. I like to do them in white, just cause. So as I was saying, if you happen to get that paintbrush washer, don't tip it over near your project. I would do it over a sink because that could have been potentially really bad. That was a near accident. There's water all over my table. It's a good thing I'm just out in the garage. All right, so there's my little mistletoe berries. And there's another snowflake. This is the one that's gonna go on his little floral arrangement. There we go. And you can see this paint is thickening up really fast. That's on my brush. It really thickens up fast. The chalk paint gets really thick and chunky. Okay, so she's gonna clean the water up. Oops,
sorry, Jen.
She's cleaning that up for us.
Shake that.
So we just learned a good lesson. You guys just saw that. Don't tip the Temu water brush thing over.
It fills up really fast.
It does fill up really fast. Okay, so I'm gonna just I'll turn the camera towards you so you can see how that looks. So you can see that piece. Actually, I'm not sure if I can, but I will try. I will turn it if I can. Nope, I can't. This is on a stand, so I'm gonna just bring it over. I'm gonna show you this brush washer thing.
Be careful.
It's very leaky. I don't want to bring it too close, but this is it.
Put it over there.
Yeah. So that's that. So I'm just gonna put it over here. It's leaking already out the sides. So I don't know if I trust this thing. Okay. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm going to try it. I'm gonna put my brush in here. I'm not sure how this works. You put your brush in this little compartment. I don't think this really works very well. This is messy and gross. What does this spring thing do? I'm gonna try to move my,
Empty the water.
yeah, it's not though. This is weird. I wish I could turn my camera so you could see this, but I don't trust having this near my project. I'm gonna try to manually move this. I'm gonna try to take my camera phone off of this so you can see it. There it is. And I don't know about this. So I'm trying to rinse my brush in it. I'm pushing on the little button and it just seems like it's not really doing anything. I don't like it. I do not recommend. This is not really working very well. It's just making a muddy mess and it's probably just gonna be a big problem. No, I don't like it.
Press the spring.
There's a spring. You press the spring?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there it goes. Oh, there it is. So it's hard for me to like do this one-handed. It's not really clean in my, it's like really messy. Water's going everywhere. Okay. I'm trying to hold my phone and do this, so it's really hard. I'll press this again. Okay, so there it is. I don't know, it's not really clean. My brush is still just keeps oozing more. This is gonna take a lot of, it seems like it's taking a lot of water and you have to just keep doing that. Yeah, I don't know about this. Yeah, this is a no. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm just gonna put my brush in over here. Okay. Like I'm all set with that. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my back up here. I'm gonna say no on that one. Okay. Yeah.
Siri here.
Nope. Okay, so there's that. And I think we're good. So that's our think that's good. All right, so I'm gonna go back, now I have to do this red. Actually, now that I just cleaned that brush, I think I needed another coat of that gray. That's okay, I'll just grab another brush. I feel like the kitty needs a little bit more. That's okay, I'm just gonna add another coat. It seemed like you could see the paint streaks on that. There we go. I feel like the kitty definitely needs another coat. MDF loves to drink paint, so it's a little thirsty. Sorry, I'm shaking the table a little bit. There we are. Being out in the garage, we don't have like a level surface because I have like a drain in my floor, so it drains everything right to the middle. So the floor is a little crooked, so the table's a little wobbly. All right, I'm just gonna give his tail a little bit more paint. This is not, doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Good to go. All right, so there's our kitty. And now I'm gonna come over and do the red. And I have this really pretty red, and it's called Imperial. Just wanna shake it. And I'm just gonna move him out of the way so I have more room to work. Set him over here. And I'm gonna grab another brush. I'm gonna save this brush because I really like this for dry brushing. That's a great dry brushing style brush. Love that. Grab some red paint. And we're gonna do this. And it dries darker than when you first put it on. That's what I love about this red. It's a really pretty, oh, yuck. It's a really pretty Christmassy red color. If you wanna go with like more of a darker red, it definitely comes out looking really bright red, but it's really not. It's definitely a really pretty darker red. And you can see it as it dries much darker. There we are. And this one's really good. I feel like one coat is really all you need for this red. It has a really nice pigment. So there's that. And I like that you can see the black around the edge. I am going to add more, so I'm gonna leave it as is. Okay, so then I have a little arrangement over here. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a little bit of red to this. It's a little too much. I'm gonna just tap that off. And they're little berries. And I try to space them apart really well so you can paint them without any issue with them touching. And this is a really big brush too, so I'm really not having any problem with them touching. So there's our little berries, some little berries over here. There we go. And this is actually part of the berries. And this is gonna get covered with our holly. It's gonna go right over the middle. Okay. And the rest you're gonna do green. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're just gonna go green over the whole thing there. Okay, I think that's all we need for the red for now. So I'm just gonna set this over here. I'm gonna get another brush for my green. I'm gonna get a little smaller brush for this because I have such small little bits. I'm just trying to grab a small brush. I have a whole bag of brushes over here. And I think, let me see, I wanna get the perfect brush. I think I'm gonna go with this size brush. And I'm going to use this green here. This one is not the folk art. This was, it was called Country Chic, but as you can see, it's kind of covered in paint at this point. I don't know how that happened. It looks like, I think I tipped it over or something at one point. And I'm just gonna go ahead and grab, and you can probably find this, this green in another brand, like in the folk art. It's just like a sage. I think they do make sage green in folk art. I have that color too. But I just happen to, I'm a little bit more, I like this brand a little bit better because it covers a little bit better, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paint these little parts here. And I am gonna dry brush over this, so it doesn't have to be like perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna go right over this, and you're gonna be gluing the little berries on over this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Got our little pine needles, our pine tree. There we are. And I just dipped my brush right into the cap when I shake it up, and it just makes it much easier instead of putting it into a special paint container so I don't waste any. You can do that as a technique too. There we are. This is really fun. You don't have to paint the holly in the middle because you are going to be covering that part up. I'm just kind of tapping my brush off on that part so I don't have too much paint. There we go. Get our mistletoe all painted. Grab from there. So that's a little trick. Just the part that you aren't going to see, you can put the paint on right there and then work your way off. There we are. There we go. And this is really good. And you can create texture if you like kind of pounce the brush on it like this. So when you go to dry brush over it, that texture really pops. So that's one way you can do something there with the chalk paint. You can just pounce your brush like that and it creates texture. Let me grab some more green paint. So I'm just, like I said, I'm gonna put it here and then I just tap off that paint so I don't have too much right away because you don't want to get all in between those little fine lines. There's some really fine lines on these pine needles. You just don't want to like glob it on there. There we are. And here's some pretty little sprigs, little Christmas sprigs. And there we are. And if you want to do some of those red too, you can. It does not have to be perfect. It's how you want to do this. There we go. There we are. So this is this cute little hat piece. It's going to go right on his hat. And you can place this wherever you want on his hat. I didn't make the lines for this. It's really up to you where you want to put it, or you can even leave this part off. You don't have to put this piece on if you don't want to. So, like I said, it is all one piece. You're only going to be putting this, oops, I'm throwing things, just this piece and then the little berries on, and then the snowflake. So if you don't like to paint all of these individually, you may not want to put this piece on. I mean, it really isn't that hard. You just really only have to paint the berries and the rest is going to be green. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come over and I'm going to do the same color again on the holly. You can do a darker shade, you can do a lighter shade, but I am going to do some dry brushing on this. I'm going to distress it so that they pop. You want to see those variations. Here we are. Okay. There we are. Sorry about that. Okay. There's our holly leaves. And it may need another coat. Not sure yet. But we'll let that dry over here for a minute. And, sorry, I'm like zoning out there. All right, so I'm gonna set my paint over here. I am going to come back with my kitty. With his little pom-pom. And I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do the next part. So I'm gonna grab my black paint. Just gonna grab it. So again, this is the chalk paint. This is rich black. Just gonna shake this up. I like to get the black and the white. I like to get these bigger ones for colors that I use a lot more. Like I use black a lot, so I definitely recommend getting the black in a bigger size. I'm just gonna put a cap over here. And little crusties all fall out when you go to open these up. Okay, so I am gonna just go ahead and grab some black. Just set this down somewhere if I can find a space. I'm gonna run out of room. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna just go around the edge in black because this part is going to show. Okay. So this part shows just along that edge. And I just wanted that for the definition of his hat. I just thought it would look really cool. So it looks like he has like wrinkles in his hat. Grab a little bit more black. Because you really want that part. And this does not have to be perfect at all because you're not going to see really where you started and stopped because everything's getting covered. So if you're not a very good painter, don't even worry. It does not matter. It's not to be perfect. Okay, so there is our black just around the edge. You don't have to waste paint, do the whole thing. Just right around here is fine. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe off the rest of my black on there. Okay. Now for his flourishes, I'm trying to decide what color I'd like to do. I might do this shade here. This is called French Linen. I think that would look really pretty. So I'm gonna do that color for his flourishes. I'm gonna move this over here. So I'm gonna shake this up. Always shake, shake, shake. All right. And that's a really pretty, like it's almost like a grayish beige white. I think that's a really pretty color. So I'm gonna grab another brush. I'm gonna grab a different style brush for this. Because I want to create texture on this. So I have a bigger brush. I'm just gonna go ahead, and this is like one of these like texture type brush. This is like a pony hair brush, they call it. So, and you see over here, I have just a little bit, and I'm gonna just pounce this on here, and it's going to create texture. You see there's texture on here, because I want to create that texture look for this flourish, because I am gonna distress it too. There we are. This is a really pretty shade. French Linen. It's really pretty. So there's that. I'm just gonna go ahead, pounce that right on. And these were not expensive. I bought these, I think it was at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and they were in like the brush section. And I think they were like $3 maybe for like 3 of them. Maybe $6 for 3 of them, but it was not expensive at all. Very, very reasonable. And it's a pony hair brush. There's like gunk all over here. This is what happens when you're outside. Wind blows like leaves and stuff in here. Pretty soon we'll be back inside. I have a blue jay out here that's saying hello. He's out here all the time. And I have a cardinal that likes to talk to me too. And I have a little chipmunk that comes in my garage every time I'm out here, and he comes halfway in my garage and looks at me and then runs away. He's so cute. Oh my goodness, adorable. Really want to make a chipmunk file just for like in honor of his like hanging out with me all summer out here. Okay, so there's that, and it's very textured. The only thing I don't like about these brushes, it's like the bristles fall out all over the place. That's the only thing that stinks. So I do have to wipe that off after it dries. So I'm gonna set that over here, let that dry. And I think we have everything painted at this point. So I'm just gonna set this over here. Come back with my kitty. And then I think we are ready to start distressing. I'm just gonna move all these caps out of the way. Alrighty, move all my little pieces so I can put my kitty down. Oh, I don't want to put his tail in that, so I'm trying to move this over. There we go. I just don't want to put him in paint. So there's our kitty. And if you notice, you will see that black line around it. Now you can see it better. You can see that black outline. And here's his little pom-pom, and they all fit together like a puzzle. And here's this little fuzzy part of his hat. That fits right there. And here's this little piece here. So here's our little kitty starting to come together. Look at that, he's so cute. So what I wanna do, I have my artist crayon. I thought that's what came in the mail, but it looks like I did not get that yet. But it is coming today. I'm getting more artist crayons. I got them in different colors. But I have this black art crayon, and I did order like all the colors. I ordered them in this brand, and I also ordered another brand so I can do a comparison of how I like one versus the other. So I am just gonna do a very light distressing. Actually, I might just do it on the hat, the red part of the hat. I'm just rubbing it along the edge like that. And some people said to try it with makeup sponges to blend it. I usually use my hands, but I might actually try them. I did buy the makeup sponges just to see how we like those. All right, so I'm just putting it right along the edge. I like the art crayons better than some of the other techniques just because you have more control. It's almost like you're drawing that on there. So let me try these. So there, before I even start blending, I'm going to grab, I got makeup sponges, and you can get a whole pack of these really cheap. You get them anywhere pretty much. You get them at like the grocery store, like drugstore, anywhere. They have them. They're really cheap, and they come in these little wedges. So I'm just gonna open it up. There's my little makeup sponge. I am gonna try this. So I had somebody recommend it just to blend it. Oh yeah, it does. That works really well. Save your fingers. Save your hands. My hands always look so icky all the time because I always have paint on my hands and inks. That works really well. Wow. Okay, so thank you to the person who suggested it in my group. Awesome suggestion. This works really, really well. I like it better than using my fingers. This is great. I gotta go back and find who wrote that and give them a big thank you. Great suggestion. So here we are. That looks so good. You can even like drag it across and like give it more dimension. Look at that. So good. All right, look at our hat. Awesome. That looks so fun. I think I'm gonna even try to just, without even doing anything else, I'm just gonna see if there's a little bit left on the brush, on this makeup sponge to do the white. Yeah, there is. Yeah, look at that. That looks great. It's getting a little bit of goobers everywhere though. That's the only thing. I'm just gonna like wipe these off. Those right off. All right, I'm just gonna put the kitty over here. That looks really awesome. Oh, I like that look. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try, what's all over the edge there? I'm gonna just try marking it on here. How's that? Let's see what happens. It's all about experimenting. Let's see. I'm like afraid now. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Look at that. That looks really, really cool. I love that. So makeup sponges. Grab a pack. Blends really, really well with these art crayons. So cool. Okay. I don't want to go too crazy because I want to make sure I still see those lines. There we are. There we go. A little bit on top. So fun. Okay, so that's a really cool way of distressing. And I might try that on the flourishes. Should we try that on the flourishes just to see? Oh, look at that. Really, really cool. Look at how that is looking. That looks really neat. Just put it right in between. I might need a little bit more of the crayon, but that is really cool. It's like antiquing it. Very, very fun. Look at that. I'm gonna grab some more. Just gonna add it right on there. Loving this. This is really cool. So I'm just playing. And you know what? Experiment. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, just paint over it. Not a problem. And I think this was a win. Makeup sponges for the win. I've had these for a while too. Like I've been meaning to use them. And I'm so glad that somebody suggested trying it with the artist crayon because that is such a fun technique. So I'm just putting it all in between those, grabbing those pieces in the middle, and that is really fun. So I might still add just a little bit in between there just to give it some extra dimension. With the pieces I can't really get in there with the sponge, and just try it out. Use like the corner. That is really, really neat. That I really like this. I'm gonna definitely keep trying this. We have some doggy friends barking outside. It's so nice out today. I've got Christmas on my mind, making this Christmas kitty. Okay, so I'm gonna come back over and let's see how our flourish looks on the kitty body. There we go. Oh, I like that a lot. It looks really fun. That looks really nice. All right, I am gonna try it on the snowflake too, just to give some dimension. Oh, I really like that on the snowflake. I might need a little bit more. This is really fun. Oops, my crayon's rolling away. There we go. I gotta move this in a little bit so you can see. There's our snowflake. And just kind of rubbing it along the edges, just to stress that snowflake. That is really fun. There we go. So that's a different way of doing it. And maybe we'll try it on the Jingle Bell too. Look at that. Really, really fun. Makes it look old, antiqued, like the kitty got a hold of one of your best ornaments. Oh no, bad kitty. Sounds like my kitties. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. This makeup sponge is starting to deteriorate. Maybe I better buy better ones next time. I got these, I think, on Temu. So maybe don't buy them on Temu, because these are like quickly deteriorating. There we are. like they disintegrate. Weird. Isn't it weird? So we'll just put a little bit on this snowflake. There we are. Fun. There's our distressed snowflake. And maybe we'll try it on the holly. There we go. I bet this would work also with the ink pads too. You can put the ink pad rub this right into the ink pad and get the same kind of effect. So there's our edges of our holly. All right, I think I want to dry brush the rest of the florals. So here's this little guy. I am going to just move him over to the side and come back, and I'm going to dry brush. I did keep my white paintbrush available. My brush is starting to get a little hard. Okay, so I want to definitely wipe some of this paint off. I have a lot of that stuff from the sponge all over, so just be mindful that these ones from Temu disintegrate. So I'm just going to take my brush and just rub ever so slightly. Oops, that doesn't matter on that because I'm going to be covering that. Just ever so slightly over that green. Give it like a snowy look. Like maybe we got some snow. I'm just going to rub it just so slightly. Maybe I'll put some on the red too. There we go. Ever lightly, very, very light. You don't want to be heavy-handed. And then I'm going to turn it and go on this side. There we go. And we'll put a little bit on the red too. Got a little heavy-handed on that one. Take your finger and just rub it off. Oops. There. Sometimes those things can't be helped. If you get a spot of the brush that had a little bit more paint than the rest. I think I'm pretty happy. There's another one of those spots. Pretty happy with this. Just rub that right along the edge. So there's that. You can see it's just ever so slightly dry brushed. There we are. Might add a little bit more. Oops. So there's that. So that piece is finished, and I'm going to put this over here. I might even put a little bit on this one too, just to give it a little snowy look too. Oops. Well, the snowflake's going to go on that middle part. I might need to grab some more paint. My brush is getting too dry. It just gives like a nice little edge. And it's still picking up that black I put on the edge too. And as I say that, I wipe a big blob of white. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna set that over here. Here we go. So you just layer that right on top, and then your snowflake is gonna go right on top like that. And then we have these little pieces over here. They're little berries. Just be careful when you take your piece off of your laser bed. These little pieces don't fall through your honeycomb. I lost one of them down there. All right. I do want to kind of distress these up a little bit. Just a little on the edges. So there's one, and you can just put them where you want. There are little spots you can put them, but they don't have to be perfect. Oops, I was on the wrong side. And there's our other little one. There we are. And we're just gonna, I just hold these with my fingernails, or you can get tweezers to hold these. All right. And you can put these where you want. Really, there's no rhyme or reason where you put them. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'll put this one over here. All right, I'll put this one over here. Okay, so there's our little berries. And then these are pieces from Craft Closet. These are the little sparkly ones. I think these will really make it pop, just for funsies. There we are. And there's our 3 pieces there. Yeah, they're not perfect, but I just got them on there. Okay, so there's our piece. That's really fun, and it's got a little bit of a sparkle on there, just for fun. Okay, and we'll come back and put our cat together now. I'm gonna just close my crayon up. Just get all this sponge disintegration off. And here's our bow. We're gonna put on our jingle bell down here. We'll put the other bow over here. This one goes on the snowflake. And we will put our hat together now. And that goes there. Put these pieces together. There's that. And our final little piece is this little decoration. And that is it. That is our kitty. And he's all finished. I hope you enjoy him. All right. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.